the continuation of the video, and really this is my live attempt, if you like, of using the plan to see what happens and basically figure out, you know, can I lose weight, once again using my book rather than conventional diets or conventional plans that we have currently on the market. Also, traditionally in the book we would rewrite the bloodstream. So in this situation what we're trying to do is look to see if or what the bodily changes are by using the plan. Now, week zero is basically preparation, and we have to do a few things. We have to go to our website, just switch over to desktop. So actually on the desktop, video like I've done in other videos, and just type in diet.info. Then it'll take us to our We Can't Spell Success Without You link. By clicking on that, it takes us to the web page. We go to the downloads link. On week zero, interested in two things. The first one being goal settings. You click on that, get to open a Word document, and on this document we can actually set our goals. There's a place to say what your current weight is, what weight you would like to achieve, by what date, and tick the box if it's the main target or not. Also in the book there is a section there, or a blank page, so you can actually fill in, you know, exactly the same information. Normally I use this to put in, I need to escape from diabetes, I need to reduce my weight to whatever, 17 stone, I want to be a size 40 waist rather than a size 46 waist. Whatever it is that your goal is and what you have in mind, that's what you need to put on the list, and that's your targets, what you want to achieve. Now in this situation I'm going to do it slightly differently. So what it was, I shopped on eBay, probably not the best ideas, and what I wanted was a jacket. And putting this jacket on, it kind of fits, you know, comfortably, it's not too bad, but what I do discover is that the arms are quite tight, so it'd be better if it's a baggy fit, and that can be achieved by actually reducing my weight. But also I bought a waistcoat which is meant to fit, and when I tried this on, as you can see, it's absolutely nowhere near. So what I want to do for my goals this time is obviously not be diabetic again, which we'll find out in a few weeks time, but also to wear this jacket so it feels comfortable and actually get this waistcoat on. And you know, I really do like this waistcoat, and you know, perhaps something that I can use for videos once the weight has been reduced. That'll be a pretty good thing. So if we go back to the website, and once again in downloads we need to click on the daily food planner, and once again with all these things it will come up with another Word document where you can put in what you eat on a daily basis, the number of calories, saturated fat, carbohydrates, and the size and weight. Now if you look in the brand versus brand section, we cover a lot of this by looking at products and comparing the different brands and looking at calories, saturated fat and carbohydrates. So the idea here is for you to Google, so if you write down your food name or what you eat, breakfast, dinner, tea, supper, snacking, you're going to get a rough idea of what you're eating. It's week zero, so we're not doing anything with it. The only thing I'd say is be honest with yourself and write down, and when you've got time just Google a few other things and figure out really what the number of calories are and what you've been eating, and you know, that should be quite interesting. What I tend to do is use on my phone Samsung Health and Samsung Health, simply like that, you can see it. And what this allows you to do is put in what you have for breakfast, morning snack, afternoon snack, dinner, lunch, and evening snacks. It even lets you have evening snacks, which is quite interesting. So you can either print this and use this to fill in what you've been eating on week zero, but don't worry about it too much. Do a little bit of research on Google and see how many calories there are in each of the items or each of the foods that you've been eating. Also, you can use an electronic device like Samsung Health, and that generally will, if you put the right product in, will automatically tell you the number of calories and saturated fats eaten throughout, you know, this week 0. So that's the second thing to do, and the most important thing to do at this point is think of the goal list and be honest with yourself. So in the book for week 0, there's various other things that you need to do, which including read the book. So when it's released, it's well worth a read and following week 0 to a more detailed level. What I'm going to do, which is not in the book this time, is in the past everything's been rewritten and been proven to be rewritten by the use of blood tests. And I know that a lot of people are probably squeamish about going to the doctor, having blood tests anyway, and some people just simply won't even go to the doctor, never mind having a blood test. In theory, if you've got diabetes type 2 or you're a regular visitor at the doctors, then they will be giving you an annual blood test, see what's happening, you know, with things like diabetes levels, cholesterol, if you're in general good health with blood counts, and you know, also looking at your white cells and your red cells to see if you're currently ill or had an infection, if you're under the weather, or if you're as fit as a fiddle. You know, these things happen. What I'm going to do is slightly different. Now, when I was very young, what I wanted was a weight done which wasn't on traditional scales, and the idea is that it would tell you how much muscle you had, how much fat you had, with the argument is, well, I'm always overweight, but is it because I've got so much muscle versus fat? And that's the reason why I can't lose the weight. If I'm active, building up more muscle, the muscle appears for me to be fat. And interestingly enough, that I think in the 90s that facility was available, but to get weighed at that level would cost the NHS about £3,000 per weigh-in. So it was an absolute no-go from the request. But these days you can actually buy scales which does exactly the same. I mean, it is about 30 years on. You can actually get scales which does exactly the same. You can buy them on eBay from anything from £20 right the way through to £200, and you have them to home, which is brilliant. On this week 0, what I've done is gone out and actually purchased the scales. So I've got them here. These was about £20 or so. And basically what it does is when you sit on them, stand on them, it comes up with the display there telling you how heavy you are. But what happens is that you've got silver areas, the scales, like these, and what that does, it shoots, if you like, a very, very small current of electricity from this pad, or these pads, right the way through the leg and back down the other leg. So it actually registers on here. Based on the amount of time it takes from going from one to the other, it actually manages to work out various things. So what you do is you just put those on the floor, you get the good old smartphone, you press go, see that is just waiting for somebody to stand on the scales, work out exactly way. What's interesting about this, and what I'm going to do through this attempt, is see what changes on the scales. Now the scales are going to tell me my weight. Obviously I know I'm overweight, so that's nice and easy. It's going to tell me my BMI. Interestingly enough, it goes from low, healthy, high to obese. Now, I know I'm going to be in the obese range, but what's interesting is that if you go to the NHS, there you look a bit more, you've got obese, morbidly obese, clinically obese, which kind of, oh no, morbidly obese, oh, panic. So I like these because it just says obese. We're going to look at fat itself. Now this is external fat. This is the fat on your stomach, the fat on your legs, the fat on your arms, fat on your boobs. Basically the fat that you can actually see. Interesting. It's also going to tell us the muscle, so it's the muscle mass index calculated by muscle mass body weight and height. So this is going to tell us how much muscle is actually in the body, along with how much fat's in there. It's also going to tell us how much water is in your body. You're actually drinking enough water, are you retaining enough water, and that's from low, healthy to excellent, which is once again interesting because a lot of people would argue, well, what happens if I drink too much water? Well, there isn't too much water on here, just low, healthy, excellent. also going to do bone mass. So obviously when you gain weight your mass becomes bigger, but when you lose weight naturally your organs start to shrink and your bone structure starts to shrink. So if you lost 10 stone over say a 2 year period of time, in effect you're regenerating yourself to a point where you're going to have less bone, you're going to have less of everything really, but internal organs, heart, liver, going to remain healthy. It's also going to show metabolism. The metabolism, some people have it quite low, but it's important to keep the exercises going. If you're healthy, that's great. If your metabolism's quite high, which is actually with obese people, there's a metabolism's low, that's the reason why I can't do things. You'll find is that the metabolism is actually quite high. It has to be, it's carrying so much weight. Even the body doing basic things like walking, standing, cooking is quite a task, so you have to have an high metabolism. But the most interesting point, what these scales do, is tell you about your visceral fat. And like I said, it's going to tell you how much fat you're carrying, how much muscle you're carrying, and that's what's visible. Visceral fat is the amount of fat internally, the amount of fat around your liver, the amount of fat what could be in your kidneys, the amount of fat that could be actually in your veins, lead to heart failure. Well, the visceral fat is important to bring down. Then that's measured in low, healthy, high and obese, giving you a percentage. So, obviously I'm obese, so the visceral fat's going to be quite high. What I'm hoping, or what I suspect is that as you lose weight, you're going to lose the external weight, but because this plan actually rewrites the bloodstream, it'd be interesting to see if you lose visceral fat faster. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use special scales, which is going to give a reading in week 1 of all those elements, and see how we go. But that's all we're going to do. So we're going to do goal list, we're going to write down what food we're eating, we're going to use Google to have a look, see how many calories are in the food, we're going to use special scales, basically going to give us a breakdown of muscle, water, fat, visual fat, and all those other things which are bad. And this is what the scales say. What we're going to do is start setting up the 2 pound line, which has been in other videos. And also what we're going to do is go back onto the download site and have a look to see our targets are for food for weight loss. Now this series of videos is looking at weight loss, not weight gain, because that affects the most people. And the other thing that we need to do is, now we've got these scales, is actually take a weight. So if you actually go onto the scales and take your initial weight and write it down. Now we're not interested in anything else, just the initial weight. What we need to know is, like, is your lifestyle currently going to put weight on naturally, or are you going to lose weight naturally? A lot of people, like especially addicted to food, will say, oh no, I'm going to go off on some sort of diet or some sort of plan, will put weight on, and that just proves that there's in a food addiction. You want more in week 0 than probably even what you'd normally eat. And other people will probably kind of think, well, I'm doing things in week 0, so I may as well be more aware, maybe cut down on a few things, avoid that cake or avoid that packet of crisps, which is fine. So for those people, you'll probably see that the weight will come down slightly. But the main thing is, record week 0 weight and write it down on a piece of paper. In week 1, we'll have a look to see what we need to do with it.
If you have enjoyed this video, then please provide your support by liking this video and subscribing to this YouTube channel. If you are watching on Facebook, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thank you for viewing.